Dallas number. Let me see. Right, let's see. Start Rock Games. Just on my internet. Okay. Here we go. Somebody better answer too.
Thank you for calling Star Rock Studios. This is Felicia. How may I help you?
Hey, Felicia. Yeah, my name is Akimbo Franklin Trevor Michael, right? Yeah, that's it. Franklin Trevor Michael is my name. Yeah, I bought your game, Steal My Car, back in October, and okay, I was promised I was gonna get these heists right. Where me and my friends.
All right, please delay.
Delay. Did she just tell me to delay?
Dad, where's my heist?
I'm trying to find them right now, boy. Leave me alone. You don't even supposed to be playing this game. Yeah, I'm gonna find. Wait till she get back on. Got something to come back on.
All right, sir. Thank you for.
Hey,
this is Felicia. How may I help you?
Hey, Felicia. Thanks for delaying me. Like I was saying, my name is Franklin T. Michael. Yeah, and I bought your game, and I was promised to get the heist. And y'all said y'all was gonna bring them out. Like in November, and they didn't come. And
all right, sir. One moment, please.
I wasn't done, Felicia. Felicia, I wasn't done. No, she ain't delay me. This is terrible. All right, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to Start Right Games. You know what I'm saying? I got my rocket launcher. Got this. I'm gonna get my heist. Let her get back on the line.
Thank you for delaying. How may I help you?
Hey, yes, Felicia. Again, it's Franklin Trevor Michael. We've already talked twice. You delayed me twice. I was promised heist. Okay, I bought the game. Steal your car. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Y'all made billions of dollars off of this thing, but y'all promised heist, and y'all still ain't gave me no heist.
One moment, sir. Please delay.
I'm not delaying, Felicia. Tired of being delayed. You don't even delay a call. You put calls on hold. How is Star Rock delaying calls? Do they delay everything? Wait till she get back online. Wait. Hello? Felicia? Felicia? I just know she didn't hang up on me. Felicia! Felicia!
I just want to welcome y'all back to Power Pellet Podcast, episode 8. Today is June 19th, Thursday, 2014. This is your co-host, Davench. I'm here with my brother, AkimboMerc. What's up, man?
What up? I'm excited, man. Episode 8. Whoever thought we'd be here?
and still in beta.
It's still in beta. We're still in beta. I just want to make this announcement to everybody that we're still in beta, kind of like Grand Theft Auto, but that's another subject.
Yeah.
One
quick announcement. We do have an RSS feed. You can find us on iTunes, Power Pellet Podcast. You can search us up. You can still follow us on Twitter, Power Pellet Podcast, and Facebook. Also, we're on YouTube, Power Pellet Podcast.
Right, and hopefully we will be on Stitcher soon. Just waiting to hear back from them. Stitcher's a good place to go and find us. So like you said, you know where to find us. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Let's go. I got a guest today, Davench.
Yeah.
First
official guest on the Power Pellet Podcast.
Yes, sir.
Huge moment for us.
It is. I'm excited. I was sitting here trying to think about where I met this gentleman. His name is Tagguh. Tagguh, go ahead and say hi to the people.
What's up? I am Tagguh.
Tagguh, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Why do you have, first of all, how do you spell your gamer name, the gamer tag, Tagguh?
It is Tagguh, which I get a lot of people calling me Tagguh, all types of crazy stuff, but...
Yeah, I usually just call you Tag because even looking at it and reading it, it still feels funny calling you Tagguh. And, like, I feel like it should be Tagger. but I call you Tagguh. But I just like you Tag.
It's funny because the name originally came from my older brother's thing, and you know how when you're a kid you're like, oh, whatever, older brother's way cooler, you know.
Right.
So I just ended up using his name, and then I never created my own.
Wait.
Kind of being lazy.
He took it over. Was it a passing of the torch, or did you just
he stole it. He stole a gamer name, people. You cannot steal a gamer name.
So he was using the name first, and then you just took it, basically.
Right.
It's a hand-me-down. That's all it is.
Nah.
We already got our own gamer tag.
Nah, hand-me-down is when your mama bring you in there and give you a old pair of blue jeans with a hole in the knee. That's not a hand-me-down. What you did, sir, is your brother was ranked up, and you took his rank and was like, I don't want to earn these guns. I don't want to earn these unlocks on my own, so I'm gonna take my brother's stuff. That's what you did.
Is this an abandoned name? Did he abandon the name?
No, he stole it.
I took it.
So
wait. Better anyway.
Did he stop playing? Something had to happen where he approved you taking this gamer tag, and it was cool. Because ain't nobody taking my gamer tag. I don't work too hard for that.
Right.
He gave me, a lot of flack for it, but
wait, what's flack? Like a good talking, or did he pop your ear? Or did you
just trying to attack me every day about it. He'd be like, yo, using my name, I see how it is. He's like, oh, put in a good word for me and stuff. He actually kind of looked at it as a good thing, I guess.
Is he a big gamer?
Merc's played with him a couple times on The Last of Us. He's not a huge gamer. He's a working man. He loves to work, so he doesn't really get up too much. But
yeah, I played with him. He was pretty cool, man. He was definitely an older brother. That's the vibe I got right away. I was like, yeah, he's definitely an older brother, man. But you could see the relationship between the two just playing online. So was it a particular game that he was playing that you saw and you were like, man, I want to play that? What game was it?
It was the Counter-Strike 1.6 way back in the day
on the PC, right?
PC gaming.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a huge game. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest games back in the day. It was like the most online played FPS at one point, I think.
Yep.
Now, Tagguh, you're a big PC gamer. Like, in fact, I hadn't seen you for a long time because you said you had just bought a rig. Tell me some of the games you've been playing.
Recently, I've been playing a lot of different stuff. I've been playing the Gary's mod is always really fun. Gary's mod for Half-Life 2.
Yeah, my son loves that, man.
Yeah, there's so many different things that people do. You can just mod it up, it's crazy. And then I played a little bit of World of Warcraft. I didn't really get into it too much. A new MMO that just dropped that was really fun. Just dropped recently, I think Memorial Day weekend, was WildStar, and that was a lot of fun.
Now, what's WildStar about?
It's just your general run-of-the-mill MMO kind of, but it's there's two factions. You pick a faction and you pick a race into the faction and level it up, and so it's just a new type of game.
You real big on the PC. Are you more PC than console?
It depends on I don't know, the drops basically. If a new game drops, I'll jump to console and play that for a long time. And then if a new PC game drops, I'll switch over, which kind of sucks. But
dude, let me tell you about him abandoning his fellow gamers and clanmates. So PlayStation 4 comes out, right? And I already knew we're all on Grand Theft Auto, right? And so I already knew when the PlayStation 4 dropped, everybody was going to run to get the PlayStation 4. So I was prepared. I was prepared for people to leave. I was already looking at new friends. I was like, let me make some new friends because once they go. So this guy gets his PlayStation 4 and disappears.
What was you playing? What was you playing, man?
Wait. You got to keep in mind, though. Tagguh's in the service, so in the military. So I'm like, all right. Did he get deployed? That's how long he was gone.
No recent sign.
He was going so long, I thought he got deployed, dude. I'm not lying.
It was a good 4 or 5 months that I was off. Disappeared.
You basically vamped on him.
Right. And then I get a message when he started reappearing again. I get a crazy message like, Merc! And you got to understand Tagguh's voice in the game. It's real high pitched. So when I read the message, I would hear his voice saying, Merc!
Yep.
So
now you back. What you been playing on the PS4?
Well, the only real games I got is just the new Battlefield 4 maps or expansions. Mm-hmm. But I'm still not really as happy as I'd like to be with the new Battlefield 4. It's still got its problems on PS4 from what I've experienced.
Did you get to play the Hardline beta?
No, I haven't, but that game looks really fun too. I like the new direction they're taking it in.
You guys mentioned that Hardline beta. I saw a tweet come across that they extended the beta.
For that and Destiny.
That's pretty cool. They did that with Battlefield 3. They extended the beta in the beginning, which is one of two things. Either they're some problems that they want to see if they got fixed, or it's just kind of a nod to the gamers. I'm hoping it's a nod to the gamers because I've heard of all the problems with Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of butt kissing to do, man, as far as I'm concerned, just from what I've heard,
The way they did it with Destiny was it's a different setup. So
okay.
They have you doing different actions on the extended, and it's not even beta, it's still alpha. So they have, just different things that you were able to do as opposed to when they first opened it up.
Okay, so all right, that sounds good. I was trying to think. Warhawk did something like that too with the Warhawk 2 that came out, 2 or 3. I think it was 3. Either way, it wasn't that good of a game, but they kind of switched up the controls a little bit, switched up the maps just to kind of get a feel for it. So that was a game I was hoping was going to be real good because Warhawk 2 had potential, and you expect for the third version of the game to really get everything fixed and kind of be that perfect game. It just missed its mark, man. So, Jay, what's in your system? Let's talk about that, and then we'll get into breaking down this Nintendo press conference. What you playing, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to push the Xbox 360, PS3, and the Vita off so I can give me an Xbox One. Got me a PS4 already, and
okay.
I had 2 games left. Finally knocked out South Park, which still hilarious, still the funniest game ever made. Period.
Really?
Yeah.
I was actually looking into getting that, but that's good.
The funniest. Just don't play it around no 5-year-olds, so you gonna feel bad for the rest of your life. But just knocked that off, and then last game I got left, Saints Row 4. I was grinding on that earlier today. Put in about 5 hours today. That's about it, man. Nothing else.
How long is that game? Do you think, as far as total hours from beginning to end?
South Park or Saints Row?
Saints Row.
Saints Row with all of the side objections, side missions, what have you. It's easily about 20, 25 hours.
Now, you prefer Saints Row over Grand Theft Auto, right?
Lately. Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, like everybody else, I jumped into Grand Theft Auto with high hopes. And to me, it didn't live up to it. And Saints Row is just, Saints Row gave you that superhero feel. A lot of people didn't like Saints Row 4 because of that. And it wasn't as gangsta as Saints Row the 3rd was. But I like this one. You got the superpowers on this one, and I don't know. I like the draw. It reminded me of Crackdown, which is why I probably like it so much, though.
You know what? From what I've seen on that Saints Row 4, it reminds me of kind of the old school quarter video games. You put your quarter in, and you get all the lights and the flash, and it's just it's a game you can screw around in. It's not as serious as maybe like Grand Theft Auto.
And that's the thing too. That's what makes it so fun. It don't take itself serious.
Right. So it's a game you can just kind of let go. I remember playing Saints Row 3, man, and I love the fact that once you maxed out your character, you could just kick everybody's butt. You know what I mean? And the enemies just kept coming. So that was pretty cool about it.
Yeah, but in this one, you could jump super high, you can glide, which is basically once you build your glide skill up, you flying. It's got all that stuff. Aliens, spaceships, space bikes, all that stuff.
Yeah, I see a lot of toys to play with. So, yeah, I think I'm going to pick that up once I get a chance, probably catch it on the low.
Yeah, it's cheap right now, too. So,
as far as myself, man, I've been playing the Hitman Absolution. This was a game I picked up. I picked this game up probably about a year ago. And it's just literally been sitting here looking at me like, begging for attention, and had the puppy dog eyes and all that stuff. And
now, some people were saying that was the best in the series.
Now, some people have been telling me that it's the worst. In fact, they hated it.
Compared to what was the other one that was good? Blood Money or something like that?
Yeah, I think that was it. Blood Money was it. I'm kind of 50-50 on this game. Like, I was playing it, and I'm playing it on normal. And I'm assuming if you play it on hard or purist, that the AI will be a little bit more intelligent. But what I've been noticing is that the AI is just stupid. I mean, stupider than the AI in Call of Duty, where they just kind of stand up and shoot at you.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
It's still a 2-year-old game, too, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I expected more just because the first one was so good. But like I said, I've been playing it. I'm like, the AI is stupid. But I love the fact that it's all stealth, and I get to sneak around and choke people out or hit them in the head with a pipe and just crazy stuff and take them out in different ways, man. Dump the body. It's just classic Hitman.
And I liked it, though. I like that Hitman because I'm not a big stealth, and they don't penalize you for just diving straight in. And that's what I like the most about that game.
Well, that's what's so funny. And so I'm doing everything stealth, and then you mess up. Once you mess up, everything hits the fan. And so then it's just all out blasting. And so that happened to me like through 3 levels last night, man. And so my wife is next to me, and I'm at this gun range, and all these cops. I just take out everybody. It's like 18 people by the end of the map, and I'm walking through with this big gun, and my wife is just like, "Did you kill all those people?" I'm just like, "Yeah, yeah." And then it goes to the cutscene. I was like, this game is pretty cool." So I like it. If we had a Power Pellet podcast rating scale 1 through 5. The scale does not exist. I would have to give this about a 3.5, man. Maybe even 4 because the graphics are pretty good as well.
They cleaned it up too, especially with the rain and all that.
Maybe they did. I'm gonna try to finish it though by next week, so I can put it towards my next system that I should be getting soon.
Wait, ladies and gentlemen, we have a big announcement.
Wait, what?
A big announcement. There's a rumor going around.
It's just a rumor.
It's a rumor. I'm digging. I'm looking. I'm trying to find as much information as I possibly can. But there's a rumor going around that AkimboMerc might be getting him a PS4.
Those are rumors, people.
Better late than never, I suppose.
Ouch! Ouch! Says the guy that abandoned me for 4 months.
Well, we ain't hit that year mark neither, though. So he still got time. Once we hit that year mark, you late.
So there's a clock actually ticking somewhere for everybody that didn't buy a next gen system. Is that what you're saying?
October. You got till October sometime.
All right. SJ, let's take a break, man, and then we'll get back and break down this Nintendo's digital event. I don't even want to call it a conference because it wasn't a crowd there for them to conference too. So we'll call it a digital event. After we get back from this break, we'll break it down and talk about some of the games they featured.
All right. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Power Pellet podcast. We're here with Davench. I'm AkimboMerc, and we have our first guest on the show. His name is Tagguh.
Tagguh, I'm gonna give him a round of applause. First guest.
Yeah, first
guest.
Thank you. I'm bowing right now.
I'm not sure if we should be applauding him or his brother, but that again, we talked about that already. Tagguh, you was just talking about during the break, man, that Comcast was invading people's houses over the weekend. What you hear?
Bit, yeah, their own internet SWAT team, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So from what I've been reading over the weekend, I guess Comcast has been going into their Xfinity modems and making them into public hotspots.
Wow.
So you could be right now having a hotspot for other people to access using your bandwidth through your modem.
Yeah, and
now, I'm not sure how accurate that is,
and
but
I remember this story from like a month ago where Comcast was talking about that. They did announce that they were going to do this, and see, for me, it's like I don't have Comcast, so what does that mean, right? Does that mean that if you're paying for Comcast service and you over somebody else's house, you don't have to sign into their Comcast modem with their password to use the Comcast Wi-Fi? Like, I don't understand the purpose of what they're doing.
Well, I got 2 problems with this. First of all, I don't want you slowing down my service. So maybe they boosted the bandwidth and where it's not going to be a big deal. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a skeptic as well. But that's my biggest concern is how is this affecting the service that I'm paying money for? Just so you can boast and say, hey, look, come use our hotspot.
Yeah. When I did have Comcast, though, I used to remember running the speed test, and I would always get more than what I was paying for. So maybe they did kind of boost it on the back end, and it's that little bit that they able to use for it. But I still don't understand the purpose of it, though. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I think that'd probably be the only way legally they could do it is to be pushing out more than what you're paying for contract wise, right? Where you're not. It's not. So was there anything else in the article tag that you read, or were people complaining about this? Did you hear anything else?
So there was 2 different instances where I read about it. It was one of them was on Reddit, which is a really popular forum site. And it was on the subreddit War on Comcast, because I guess there's a big flame war on Comcast on the internet.
Okay.
Because
they doing that data capping. They talking about
right, and they mess with Netflix
capping
and stuff too. Yeah,
Netflix paid them off though, didn't they?
Right, but there's the whole why should they have to point of view,
right?
But
right.
So I was reading that, and someone was saying that their internet was being incredibly slow, and then he figured out they were using his router or modem for an internet hotspot, and then he had to disable it and call up Comcast, and they were being really dismissive about it, and they didn't really want
about it.
Yeah, they kept avoiding the question.
Sure.
And then I did a little bit of research myself, and it apparently over the weekend 50,000 homes in Houston were kind of switched to that Xfinity hotspot.
That's a lot too, man.
That's a whole lot. Yeah.
And it's not like they send you a personal message. So, they may have announced it, but, you may not know that it happened to, like, your router's being used.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they buried a notice somewhere in your bill. But who the heck looks for those, man? You get coupons for, like, salt for your water softener or something in those bills. That nobody looks at that stuff.
Coasters and stuff. Like
yeah. So, stuff. But it's interesting. So it sounds like if you have the Comcast modem, all you need to do is dish that modem and you will be okay.
I would assume so, yeah. Like if you change the router up, but there's only I was talking to my friend about this also because I wanted to ask his opinion. He's a big internet guy. And he said that Comcast only allows you to use certain pre-arranged routers that they agree with that'll work with their
Really?
Yeah, so if you go out and get your own router, you have to go through a certain list.
It's like that with AT&T too. Not every router is compatible because theirs is already has a router built into it.
You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like an episode of Game of Thrones.
Right. The game of internet.
The game of internet, AT&T versus Comcast versus DirecTV.
Is the Joffrey of the internet.
Oh, they are. Dude, they are so Joffrey. Oh, you nailed it. Comcast is the Joffrey of the internet. They've been Joffrey since I was a kid, man, since they had a monopoly.
So are we still season 1? Because...
Spoiler alert, should we say that?
I didn't say anything. I just said, are we still season 1? That's all I want to know. What
are you talking about? Joffrey's dead. Oops.
Spoiler alert. Damn it.
Hey, if you don't know about that now, you're gonna really get mad when he found out they killed Aya. I'm just saying.
Let's stick to. I know we're a video game podcast, but with the Comcast, it does relate to us as bandwidth wise when you're online. So let's get into Nintendo with the E3. Let's do a quick recap on Nintendo because at least that way we'll be able to catch up because we about 2 weeks behind now on that.
Yeah, we are, man. So Nintendo did this thing called a digital event. They didn't actually have a conference where they were speaking to people on a live audience on stage. They had a pre-recorded presentation that they pumped out over the interwebs, and it was kind of cool, man. We talked about Xbox conference already, and we said that was the best between them and Sony. But Nintendo's was it was just different. It was weird. It was fresh.
It was entertaining, is what it was.
It was. It held my attention from beginning to end, and they kind of opened up with this clay animation fight between their COO and I think their CEO, which was pretty cool because they were basically fighting each other, real life fighting, like they were in the video game Smash Brothers. And then they jumped into the game Smash Brothers, which was an introduction to allowing you to now use your Miis that you create to actually fight in the Smash Brother game, which was really cool. And then they did something that was, I'm going to say this word cool a lot, so get ready, people. They did something really cool. They took a Mario statue. It was probably about the size of my thumb for the listeners who can see it, none of you can. And they placed it on top of the gamepad, and that instantly inserted Mario into the Smash Brother fight. And he was partnering with one of the CEOs or whatever, and I thought that was pretty awesome. So apparently now they're going to have it where they're selling these little figures that will be able to download and upload information to them.
It's a copy.
You can use them.
It's a copy of the Disney Infinity got a system like that, and I can't think of the other one. I think it's Ubisoft who has that product where you have the little figures and And with let me look it up first. Go ahead and continue with Nintendo, and then I'll
like I was saying, I've never seen that before, so to me that was new, and I thought that was really cool. It was really interesting as a video game because it kind of took you outside of the game itself. And now we're collecting toys again, and I think that's where a lot of gamers, well, at least from my generation, started. We started with toys, using them to fight each other, and all video games did was make the animation of those toys cooler and give us more control over them and allow us to do things like blow each other up or steal cars. But
Skylanders,
yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
Really, this isn't new to the video game world. Skylanders, and then Disney Infinity, where they had the little figures, and it's got the uses NFC, and it picks that character up on the game. Now they were saying with Nintendo's amiibos is what it is.
Right.
You have to leave that figure on your gamepad, as opposed to, I think with Skylanders, once it picks up that character, it loads it into the game. So that's a big difference too.
Okay.
But I think with Skylanders, they have like a little USB add-on that you hook up to the console.
Okay. Well, I don't know how successful Skylanders was. I knew the toys were successful, but I didn't know that was the reason behind it.
Here's how successful it is.
Okay.
All right. So Skylanders actually brought their product to Nintendo first, and Nintendo didn't want to do it. They didn't think it was cool enough.
Nintendo stole their idea.
So
that's ironic. They're pulling a Tagguh.
So what do you if you can't beat the competition, what do you do? Join them.
You steal their name. Oh, I get it. Okay, I get it. Duh.
Next, Nintendo's going to disappear for a few months.
Right.
Yeah, right. for 5 months.
Nintendo Studios missing for the last 4 months.
Right, the whole office is just gone.
Dude,
have you heard aside from most of the actual like Smash Brothers players? Because I don't know if you know, there was a really big competitive scene with Super Smash Melee. It was huge.
Mitch was talking about there's like loyal followers or something.
It's got a big tournament following.
Right. There was like an MLG following back in the day for that.
Did you see a line at E3 to play?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Pictures of the line going all the way around the block, and it was crazy.
A lot of them, because I go on the Reddit I'm subscribed to the subreddit for that like genre, the Smash Brothers genre, and a lot of them are really questioning if they're gonna like the new one because they're all competitive with Smash Brothers and stuff. They're wondering the competitiveness of it.
Now, did anybody comment on the GameCube controller being able to be used on that?
I saw that. They like linked it in one of the topics, and it like got a huge upvoting, which is like really good on Reddit.
Yeah, I told you, Merc.
So they liked it a lot.
Well, we kind of got it. We kind of gave Nintendo the business. I think it was episode 5. But we just, we're talking about how Candy Crush came and actually crushed them as far as sales for that one quarter. But yeah, they dropped, what's that game they just dropped? Number 8, Mario Kart. And Yeah, Mario Kart, they dropped it, man. Mario Kart was
it pushed it hard, too. Pushed the console real hard.
Pushed the consoles hard. They made a lot of their money, so I kind of got to apologize to Nintendo for that. Apparently, these people know what they're doing.
I don't. I still won't. I'll refuse to apologize until something.
Why?
Because it's stupid. Why you announced the hugest franchise, the hugest game in your franchise, and then you show this gorgeous trailer, this gorgeous teaser clip, and then you say 2015. So to me, that means I got another year and a half. I'm not even.
What game are you talking about?
I'm talking about Legend of Zelda.
Okay, let's get to that later then. So let's go through the games in the conference. Then I'll give you a chance to talk a little bit more about Zelda because
I'm already upset about it.
Right, I see. Right, and there isn't a rant today, so you got to calm down. But talking about Super Smash Brothers, some of the other cool things that I saw, you're able to create using the Mii's. You're able to put anybody in the game that you want to. So they showed Ice-T. And they showed Elijah Woods.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That was cool.
I think the real question is, did Ice-T stomp Elijah Wood?
Curb stomp.
Well, it depends. Elijah Wood, which one? Like Bad Seed or Elijah Wood, Lord of the Rings? Which one? You know what I'm saying? So
I guess it depends.
Yeah, but Jay mentioned the amiibos, and they kind of went into details about the amiibos, and then let me see what else they showed next. The next game they showed was Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah.
Oh,
so this game is
it was called
Woolly World.
I thought it was Yoshi's Yarn, but
no, sir. No.
Oh, it was based off Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah, okay. I watched it. Did you watch the conference?
I did. I'm reading. Okay. I'm looking at it now. Right.
Are you watching it now, or did you watch it?
No. That looked cool.
No, that's not an answer, sir. You just said no.
Because that was me blatantly ignoring your question. No, I watched the conference, but I forget. Okay. I got the name all mixed up, but
yeah. So Yoshi's Woolly World. I'm sorry, Tagguh. Did you have something you want to say?
Well, I was gonna say, did you see how similar it looks to Little Big Planet? It almost looks a lot like it.
It looks exactly like Little Big Planet, man. It's definitely a mix of Little Big Planet as far as the looks and the texture of the game, but with Mario. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt about it.
What was with Little that Big weird build-up video they had for it? You got like these two grown men in this like yarn, like this small yarn business. That was kind of creepy to me, man. I'm sorry.
No, I disagree.
That was a little.
I disagree.
For an American audience, to me, that was a little creepy. These two grown men talking about their love of yarn. And
who do you think are making these games? They don't have little kids making these games. These are all grown men.
Make the games. We know
right. That. How is it creepy?
It's just creepy, man. The idea, like their love of yarn. So they made a Yoshi game out of it. It was weird, man. I like the game. The game looked good. I'm just talking about the little video that they made to introduce it.
So are you just wearing latex clothes because your clothes have thread and yarn in them? Are you just latex all day?
It's not a knock on yarn. I think if they'd have had like this, crazy yarn lady who makes these crazy yarn figures,
I
didn't see her. Did you see her?
They mentioned that. No, they said that. They said we went and got crazy yarn ladies.
They're actually our game developers.
Yeah.
So
it looked good though. It looked good. I'm a big Yoshi fan.
Yeah, they did show some of the puppets and stuff like that, but they said they needed that to see how the characters and stuff were going to look, how yarn work and all that stuff. So yeah, it's a good game. If you like Yoshi, first time you could use Yoshi in Mario was pretty cool. You can ride on his back and he stuck his tongue out and killed whatever it was. Yoshi's pretty cool. Leave yarn alone.
Is that creativity you've been looking for?
No. No, because like Tagguh said, this is Little Big Planet meets Mario Brothers. So
yeah. But it's Yoshi. You can't deny the power of Yoshi.
Yoshi has like 1,000 games before this one.
This is like the spiritual sequel to Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
Right. Now, the next game they showed was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Is this Toad's first game by himself?
I think so.
Yeah, this is coming out in 2014. It didn't look interesting at all. I feel like I feel like Bowser is this pimp, right? And he got all the Mario people out there on the corners. And he was like, Toad, you need to get out there and make that money, man. So we're going to give you a game.
Yeah.
Toad's Treasure, get it. Got to sell that hat, Mushroom Dude. And so that's all this is. This is to me, man. It was another character that's familiar to your gamers, and they just kind of gave him his own game and pushed him out there.
Well, it's a play on Super Mario 3D World where Toad had puzzle levels.
Right.
And what this is kind of, it's just that giant puzzle level game. So,
but is a Toad game necessary? You know what I mean?
It almost seems like they're holding on to some last hope by releasing that.
Yeah.
Just to get something out there, then you think?
Yeah.
I'm kind of, it's almost like giving Pip his own movie, Lord of the Rings.
I was like, who? You gonna make me go back and watch this.
You're killing me, dude. You're killing me today. All right. So one thing I liked about Nintendo's digital event, and I gotta call it a conference, is they didn't take long to get to their heavy hitters. So they already showed Super Smash Brothers, but then they went right into the Legend of Zelda. And so, Davench, what did you want to say about the Legend of Zelda? What was your first impressions of it?
First off, when they first showed like the very first second of that trailer, like you knew what it was. So you instantly got goosebumps and the excitement, and you was like waiting to see what visual direction did they take it in? Did they go dark? Did they go, like the recent ones? And man,
hold up, Nintendo ain't going dark on nothing, dude.
We had hopes, right?
Nah.
We had hopes.
Little hopes.
But just interesting to see what they were going to do with it. And man, oh my God, that game looks, if that's real, like in-game engine, like when he showed that field and he said what we wanted to get back to was the open world field of Legend of Zelda that we did from day one. And it got more linear as we started to make them. And now we're able to do that again with the power of the Nintendo Wii U. And you see this field and you're like, oh, that looks nice. And then all of a sudden you see like Link on the horse and this crazy monster just comes running at him from a distance. And you like, oh my gosh. And like the animation was smooth and fluid. And then like he was like, everything in the background that you see, you can make your way to it if you dare. Right. And you see I forgot the name of like the castle that Ganon lived in. It was the evil castle. You could see that in the dark in the distance. And it just looked crazy, man. And then Link taking off on that horse and that monster came zipping behind him, shooting all the crazy whatever things he was shooting at him, and Link pulled out.
Right. And then this exploded, and then like a transformer came down, and then the turtles was in shit.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, baby. Michael Bay's Legend.
He pulled out like it was like a gunbow, man, that he pulled out, and he. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of slow motion through the air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He shot it. Ty, now, I know there's an age difference between me and you, but I'm curious, did you grow up playing the Nintendo games? Did you play the original Zeldas when they first came out, or was that something that you stole from your brother as well?
I'm only 22. Oh, yeah. Throw in the comments. All right, I'll take it. So I'm only 22. So the first real games that I remember playing were on the N64, because that was when I kind of got into gaming, and that was with like 007, Perfect Dark.
Oh my God!
And
you didn't suffer at all.
He came in at a great time.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time was probably one of the most played games I had on that system. And
did you like Majora's Mask?
I wasn't as big of a fan as Majora's Mask because it was. I remember it always being a lot harder and like not as long and not as fun.
Okay.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't really own a Wii system, and I haven't for the past like 10 years. But I'm always interested to see them, and I have friends who play all the Zelda games, and they always end up loving it. But I don't know. I think Ocarina of Time was their one huge like best game so far. So if they can make a game that tops that would be awesome. But I don't know if that's doable. Rather,
Davench, you and I talked in some of the other episodes about where Nintendo needed to go. We were talking about Nintendo being a little bit more mature in its games that it created and going after a more mature audience. Their games are always colorful. They look like cartoons, basically.
Yeah.
I guess all video games look like cartoons, but these look like Sunday morning children cartoons, or Nickelodeon cartoons. Legend of Zelda to me is exactly what I think we were talking about. This is Skyrim in Zelda's world.
Yeah.
With the open world feel. And I sat back and I kind of watched everything. Like you said, the stuff you mentioned. And some of my notes was amazing.
It was just visually stunning for what it was.
Visually beautiful. Right. Yeah.
It was like eye candy. The animation of the grass, and it was crazy.
Right. And this is the feeling it gave me. I don't own a Wii U, but now I want to go out and get it just for this game. So this was a console seller. Wow. We talk about those games that come out that'll say, man, I'll drop $300-400 to get the console just to buy the game. This is a console seller for me. This is going to be a huge hit, I think, for Nintendo. I mean, they already got Mario Kart, Super Smash Brothers, and now Zelda, using the same characters that we've been seeing for years, but yet still, they managed to do something fresh and new or innovative, I guess, except for Toad. With their games, and I'm impressed. I literally said I would go out and buy a console just to play this game. So I'm going to openly admit that Nintendo knows more than me when it comes to gaming and gaming development.
So now you got that one game. What else would you get with the console? Because the price is still $300.
Well, I'm not a big fighter. I don't get into fighting games anymore. So I wouldn't get Smash Brothers. I'd probably get Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart. That's a must buy.
Yeah,
that's a must buy.
Well, I could play it with my kids, too. That's something that's important. But the next game that they showed after that, And again, they were just kind of hitting you with the big games. They showed Pokemon after that. So Omega, Ruby, and Alpha, Sapphire. Tagguh, you're probably a Pokemon head. That's your generation, isn't it?
Yeah, that was right when I was hitting that age. Like Game Boy, the original came out with Pokemon, and then it was Game Boy Color and so on and so forth. Yeah, they were really fun, but I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of grew out of that phase when I was like 14 or 13. Yeah. And it's a lot harder to keep up with it because they have like
they'll release
upwards
two at
of
a time.
1,000 at least. Yeah, upwards of 1,000 Pokemon right now. Like I could probably name off a few of the originals, but it's hard to keep up with that.
Wasn't that the draw? Like, I collected all the Pokemon, and now it's so many. It's like,
but it's a Ponzi scheme because they just add more. Yeah. You're like, damn it! I just caught 1,000 of them. You got 300 more incoming. What's going on here?
Nintendo's Ponzi schemes, not Pokemon. Ponzi-mon.
No, but those games are really addicting when you get them. Like, they're really fun.
But what's addictive about? Is it the collecting part that's addicting? Like when I play Skyrim, I know that you can just get caught up with
thing. I think you got to get them all right. That's the tagline.
But how do you? Okay, I'm Pokemon illiterate, so y'all got to tell me how this works.
So back in the day, the reason it was so popular, I think, was that it went hand in hand with the cartoon. Everyone wanted to be a trainer, I guess, is what the show had as its thing. And then, they came up with the game, and it was like, oh my god, I get to play.
No, wait. What's a trainer?
Okay, so every trainer has Pokemon. Like they're the ones that train their Pokemon and capture all the Pokemon and go and win gym badges, which there's different gyms that you go to and you get badges for winning against the gym leader or whatever.
Oh, and so is that why they named the games after gyms like Omega, Ruby, and Alpha, Sapphire?
Right, I think so. I think they're supposed to represent gym badges or something.
Okay, so where do the Pokemons come from?
I don't know.
It's like this whole world, right?
It's like a fictional universe that exists. But, I don't know. The one thing that my friend said to me the other day is they don't kill Pokemon in the game. You can't kill Pokemon, but there's meat.
Huh?
In the game. So everybody's like, okay, well, where did this come from? Yeah.
I don't know that friend. I keep hearing about this friend of yours. I'm really starting to think that's your alter ego tag.
Yes.
I'm really starting to think it's your real gamer name that you don't want to tell us about. So it's probably
my real
Sexy
name.
Army 2000 or something like that.
So Tagguh, did this game?
I know that.
Just looking at the game, did it make you interested with the trailers and all that stuff?
The Pokemon one?
Yeah.
Or you mean?
Is this a 3DS game?
You know what? They didn't show that much because I don't have any notes about that. So maybe they did. I don't know.
It's a 3DS game. I'm looking at it now.
The thing about that is Pokemon games are for kids. I feel like they're hitting the kid. What demographic, I guess.
Yeah.
Is because I've had two younger siblings, and every time I go home, they're 14 and 13 right now, and every time I go home, they're playing some new Pokemon game, and I've even had a coworker play the new Pokemon games a year ago. And I was like, all right, whatever. I guess you're trying to get some nostalgia going, but I don't know. I don't see it anymore. It's not, it doesn't interest me as much.
My son didn't mess with them. Well, two things. I had a nephew who's 20, actually he's 22 right now. And he just got away from Pokemon probably about 3 years ago. He really just quit messing with them. And he was getting ready to, he was passing down his gaming system to my son. So my son now, he's 9, he's going nuts over Pokemon. Of course, we pull into the drive-thru McDonald's and they're giving these things out, Happy Meal toys. And
of course.
So he's into it then. He liked the Pokemon.
He's clawing the cylinder of the car trying to get to these things. So I buy 2 of them for him. Of course, they're broken in pieces somewhere around the house. But I think there is an age range where you kind of grow out of Pokemon. I think we all did that, right? We kind of all grew out of our toys at some point.
Some of us. Then
it just doesn't interest you as much.
You go back and get the ones that you couldn't have as a kid.
You mean like the Transformer collection you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a habit.
Right. Yeah. How's your wife feel about that? The next game that was showed.
I'm still married, so
that's a good thing, right? The next one was Bayonetta 2. Man, this game is sexy. I feel dirty watching this trailer, man.
The suits, right? She had they gave you they were mentioning different suits from other games that you can dress her up as. I thought that was cool. Right. Samus, they showed her wearing a Samus suit. That was cool.
Right. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
it just wasn't the suit. It was the hips, dude. I mean, this video game, your video game character should move like that. She was like runway model sexy.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's almost like in her suit she has like a built-in 7-inch heel. Like that
is. Right. Right. Yeah. So this game is kind of crazy. I guess you're playing in hell. You're being dragged to hell, and I guess you got to fight your way out of it. So, what's pretty cool about it though is they're going to give you Bayonetta 1 as a part of buying this game. So it's a 2-for-1 if you pick it up. The next game they showed was Hyrule Warriors. And Hyrule Warriors is a mixture of the characters from Legend of Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. So essentially they took the characters and threw them inside this Dynasty Warriors world.
I felt like this conference was really like Eastern centric. It wasn't for like a Western audience, like you see with Microsoft and Sony even now, focusing on the Western part of the world as far as a major market. Everything I saw was like some type of, looked almost Japanimation type of game. It just kind of, Nintendo's conference at that point, when it got halfway through and even after, the game you're talking about now, I just felt like I was just being rubbed the wrong way by Nintendo. And like they just like they just don't get it. Like,
show me on the Yoshi doll where he touched
it just felt like they don't get it. Like I'm like we talked about like a couple weeks ago. Like the more and more I watch Nintendo be who they are, I realize that I'm just not their fan base anymore, and it's kind of sad, man, when you think about it. Because I grew up Nintendo proud. So
yeah. Well, he said, "Show me on the Yoshi doll."
Show me on the Yoshi doll. Was his tongue as long as the Yoshi?
Stop!
Was there a Yoshi egg involved?
Oh my God, this is going so wrong. Stop. Just stop. I'm going to move us on to the next game.
But I'm not a fan of Hyrule Warriors. Let me get that out the way.
Okay. I was a fan of Dynasty Warriors. It was it was awesome running around with all these dudes chasing behind you and you're just slaughtering each other, man.
It was oversaturated. It's like 30 different Dynasty Warrior games. Right.
Yeah, it was. And then, it got boring after a while. They showed Kirby. That's coming out in 2015. Then they showed a game called Blade. That's coming out sometime this year. But the next cool thing they showed, which was, I guess was kind of, it should have been out a long time ago. And maybe, I don't know why they waited till now, but Mario Maker, which is where you can.
Man.
What'd you think about that, man?
That looked amazing.
Well, let me tell the listeners what it is. Mario Maker allows you to create your own custom Mario courses, and you can manipulate anything. So kind of think back to Super Mario Brothers 1, the first one, and think about the green tubes that you would go down, the power plants that you can eat, the power-up mushrooms you can have, the ducks, the mushroom, the Koopas, yeah. Koopas, thank you, sir. The Koopas. Anyway, so you can place.
Goombas?
Is it Goombas?
Those are the little dudes with the mushroom heads. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could place and stack these players all over the map and just make your own maps. But I thought this was pretty cool. I think it was a long time in the making for this. My question is this an attempt to go after Little Big Planet?
Oh yeah.
Well, that and maybe like a little bit of Minecraft too, with the whole like creation theme.
Yeah, I didn't think about Minecraft
because I mean I feel like this has like been a long time coming. They should have done something like this, because how many other games do you have level creators?
This is the best use of the touchpad too. If you think about it, you have this,
true.
It reminds you when you see like people who like do graphic arts and they're drawing on a tablet and they're doing this and moving it. I'm looking at the video now. It's for the Wii U, and this is crazy. Even my wife was looking at it, and she was like, "I'll play that." I'm like, I didn't even know you was watching the show with me. Like, what the hell? So I'm like, all right, that's a buy. That let me know my purchase for the Wii U would be solidified.
Well, you know what's cool though? It's cool that, because like I said, my wife sat by me too and watched some of these, and my kids, and they would say, "That's interesting. Oh, I'll buy that."
They're conforming.
Well, not just that, but it's interesting that Nintendo. So let's look at what Nintendo did with the first Wii. They went back and they called an older audience that Xbox and Sony couldn't capture. I had my mother-in-law bowling. I had my mom bowling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, with some of these games. Now, it's interesting, too, with this Mario Maker. You have a game that wasn't too hard for people to play when it first came out. Everybody knows Mario. Everybody remembers the original Mario, but now you can draw and be creative. So as a parent, you say, man, I don't want my kids just vegging out on video games. But now it's just kind of like a video game maker. He's being creative. He's drawing because you can use that stylus pen. You know what I mean? So I think Mario Maker itself could be a big seller for them.
And it was cool too. It switched between like 8-bit graphics and like new updated graphics.
We're not gonna talk about 8-bit graphics, dog.
Tagguh, you went here for that.
Yeah,
we'll let it be because
Tagguh can't even talk about it either because he didn't play 8-bit graphics.
Well, we don't know what he plays when he's playing.
N64,
yeah,
64-bit.
Right. He didn't suffer.
What he referring to was it the last episode we talked about? It was because it was PlayStation. So you see all these like indie games coming out. A lot of them side scroller, and a lot of them use that 8-bit style, the 8-bit graphic style. How do you feel about that?
Indie games are in themselves very different. I'm not a huge fan of them because they're usually very simple and very short. And I usually buy games. I like to go. It's like go big or go home. Like I like spending the $60 that I
with graphics, right?
Earned. Well, yeah, graphics and storyline. And how much can a storyline can you put in a side scroller? Really,
And an 8-bit side scroller,
you put a ton.
And as for mechanically, are they fun? I'm sure a lot of them are super fun. That's their biggest selling point is being mechanically fun to play.
Yeah,
but as for like the things that capture me in a video game is like the storyline, the graphics. Am I spending the money to buy a full game, or am I going to play a game for 2 weeks and then I'm like, wow, that was a great indie game?
Would you rather have one game for $60 that your hopes and dreams you've been waiting 3.5 years for? It turns out it's a 7. 7's not bad, but it ain't a 9. Or I can give you 6 $10 games that are 2 to 3 hours each, and they're all 8s.
See, the 2 to 3 hours thing catches me though, because I don't know. I'm one of those people that when I buy a game, I like to put as much time into it as possible. I think of it like an equation. Like if I'm spending $60 to play this game, I want to get the hours amount out of it. So like, for example, if I buy Battlefield 3, I spent probably about 200+ hours on that game.
Man.
So yeah,
gamer alert. Yeah.
Over time, that $60 turned into a lot of time like used. It was worth it.
Right.
So, and if I'm playing an indie game that I bought for $10 and I play 3 hours of it and never play it again, that's.
Let's just call it what it is. It's a value meal at McDonald's.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It tastes good, but it don't really fill you up. It's not like you sat down.
You got 6 of them, and they all different.
It got served a good meal.
You got 6, and they all different. To me, that's a better value because some of these games for $60, and especially if it's delayed, and then and for me, full-time job, it's easier for me to dive into something for 2 to 3 hours, beat it. Oh, that was nice, and then what's next? And then I can consistently just not get bored or, I don't know. I play a lot of different games, so it's a different perspective for me. I don't have the time, unfortunately, to be able to dive into a game for 100+ hours like that.
You know what? I think some of the allure of 8-bit, of course, is the nostalgia.
They're not all 8-bit. Man,
okay.
You're going to come over one day, and I'm going to show you a whole list of games.
Coming over there if you're playing that 8-bit stuff. Stay at home.
Not all of them 8-bit.
I got HD, baby.
Not all
HD.
Not all of some of the 8-bit stuff look better than 8-bit.
Games.
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess it's to each their own, really. Like, if you want to just jump into a short game and get the experience of it, I mean that it's to each their own. You can't really stop an indie gamer from making his own game.
Like you never think about the amount of games you never get to finish because they're so long.
True.
Yeah, man, you make a great point. We had touched on that, I think, a couple episodes ago, where they were stuffing games with content just to make sure people felt like they were getting
yeah, I saw that. It's like you were comparing Assassin's Creed to Call of Duty, I think.
Right, yeah. Just stuffing it in there. Here, take this and take this content, and it's garbage, and you're just like drudging through to get to the end, and you're like, I'm done.
Yep. That's why I stopped playing the Call of Duty ones, is because they just pumped them out like it was like built in a sweatshop just for the public.
Right, yeah, that's what it feels like.
Abuse their developers into making a broken game that's been overplayed, overused.
You just feel dirty after you finish playing.
Right? You're like, Is there someone starving because I just played this game? Like,
all right. So the final game that really impressed me, man, and as much as The Legend of Zelda and Super Smash Brother look good, I think the best game Nintendo showed outside of those two had to be Splatoon. And
really?
Splatoon was this 8-player 4v4 online action game, and I guess it's kind of like a Call of Duty. I hate using that.
It's not. It's not a Call of
Duty.
Yeah,
it's not a Call of Duty, but it's a shooter. But you're not shooting bullets. You're shooting paint, and you can also your character can morph between being a human and a squid. And in squid mode, you can dive into the paint and hide. Human mode, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. Watch the trailer. But it looks good. This is a game that I would buy. This would be the second game I would pick up if I had a Wii U.
It also looks like one of those games that's just got like great mechanics. Like you can play it over and over again.
Yes,
you know?
It's just like it plays real solid.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
it's one of those games you want to go back to keep playing matches against other people, not so much as anything else, really. Because that's how I am in The Last of Us. I just want to keep playing the matches over and over, you know?
Yeah, and so, you got the little characters running around. I think this is going to be a huge game for kids. Like my wife may not want my son playing Call of Duty or Battlefield because of violence.
Right.
But they're shooting paint. This is a paintball game in a sense, with some pretty cool mechanics to it. We're trying to your paint claims territory, so it's interesting.
The concept of this game is so smart.
Cool. Yeah, and talk a little bit about it, Davench, or I could talk about it if you want.
It's basically just it's a paint war, and you got your territory, and you basically conquer the entire map by having the most paint on there, and it gets creative. Whereas your character turns into this squid, and if it's your paint color, you dive into it, and you can dive under your enemies and basically reach a different part of the map without having to go through them. Because you've had this path that's been created with your color of paint. And
they also give you this thing where you can kind of pole vault to the other side of the map, too.
Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. But I like how when your enemy, if your paint is red, you know what I mean, and your enemy's paint is blue, and you're running in blue paint, you slow down. You know, so that's a pretty
paint
cool
rollers. She was running with the giant paint roller.
The giant paint roller was real cool. Yeah. So this is going to sell pretty well for them.
To me, it looks like it's got a huge competitive factor to it. And that's what sells me on it. Is like I actually want to play that game. It's just so competitive. It seems.
I think that's the surprise game right there for Nintendo's conference. I think nobody expected Splatoon. It's so weird to say it too. It's like you want to say Platoon, but it's like Splatoon.
Well, I think too you don't have to worry about them trying to port over a Call of Duty just so they have a fighting army game or a shooter game on their system.
Yeah.
Splatoon.
That almost seems counterproductive to me.
Yeah.
Because most of your Call of Duty players are your Xbox guys.
They're not picking up a Wii to play Call of Duty, dude.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe you do it because you have it in the house and you want your kid to quit whining about not being able to play that game, but you're not picking up a Wii to go and play Call of Duty or Battlefield. So
no, unless they didn't have an Xbox or a PS4.
Right. So Jay, that pretty much wraps up the Nintendo digital event.
So as an overall, can we do an overall on it? We don't
have a rating. We don't have a rating scale. You know that.
We'll give a hypothetically.
Okay, we're gonna give it a grade
on the beta scale.
On the beta scale? Yes.
On the beta scale, that's perfect.
I don't know, man. This event was different than Nintendo's and Sony's, so it's kind of I'm not going to compare it to those two on its own.
You mean Microsoft?
I'm sorry, Microsoft. On its own, I think that this was probably out of 10. This is an 8.5 to a 9 for me. I would like for it to be a little bit longer for them to show me a little bit more games. But at the flip side, I kind of appreciate it. It was 45 minutes too.
Yeah,
so
the time was weird. I wanted longer, and they kind of cheated you too. If you watch this, and then after this, then they were like, "Oh, well, watch Miyamoto go play Star Fox U," and you're like, "Wait, what? Show that during the conference. I want to see Star Fox."
But let me ask you about that. Do you think? I mean, games sometimes are best known by playing them. You know what I mean? By actually getting away from being shown a trailer and getting your hands on them. And so they were saying they had a lot of different games on the floor at the conference that you can actually go and play for yourself. I mean, nothing beats that to me. You know, a trailer can't give you actual live play. So
yeah, but what Nintendo does when they do that is they take it out of their own hands and then they leave it in all of the journalists' hands in order for us to see that game that they want just a select few to see.
Yeah, but the gamers are playing it too. And the gamers are the ones that are on these social media talking to their friends. We sell the games. You know, that's what I believe. Your journalists are going to write the reviews and the articles. And we're at the point now where we don't give a review that much credit anymore because we've been burned so many times. Games paying for reviews being totally off about how a game plays. So we don't, as gamers, we don't give reviews that much credit anymore. So I think word of mouth, Twitter, Facebook.
Oh, it's so
Reddit,
true though, because I take a review from a friend 10 times more than I would any other source like IGN or whatever the case.
Right.
I just want to see a clip of it. Don't hide it from me though.
No, they told you where you can go and see clips, man. They were very good about.
I can't find nothing on Star Fox.
You should have watched the conference.
It wasn't in the conference. It was in the conference, and they blurred it out. I
saw it. I don't remember.
So, was there a reason? This is just a quick question before we stop. Was there a reason why they didn't do an actual official conference, or
this is like the third year in a row where they haven't did like a big conference?
I think because you get to control the content. I don't think. Yes. Okay, so look at Sony. Sony had a lot of mistakes. Their presenters were dull. Yeah, it's cheaper. Their presenters were dull and flat. Yeah. And I think you get to control all of that. You know,
that's true.
So that's my thinking about it. You know, you get.
I mean, there are pros and cons to both. I assume, yeah.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I did watch Sony's. It was really dry.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The transitions were really dry.
Right. This is a good time to take a break. I've been trying to get one for the last 3 minutes.
Sorry. Been stealing it.
Right. No, don't steal the break. You might not see it for another 4 or 5 months.
Oh, God.
Let's take a break, man, and come back and let's talk about some of the other things we saw during the E3 conference. I know EA did some things. I know there's some big talk about Aisha Tyler and her mouth. Tyler.
She's a bigger gamer than you are.
She is, and she's a lot prettier than me, too. But let's come back. Let's talk about some of the other things you guys saw, some of the things that didn't quite make it into the conferences, but that impressed you. And then we'll wrap this show up. Cool.
We back, Power Pellet Podcast.
Yeah, boy.
Finishing up the 2014 E3 wrap up.
Wrapping it up.
Covered the big three, covered the big two in the last 2 episodes. Just finished Nintendo. Co-host Davench here with AkimboMerc and our very first official guest, Tagguh.
Yes, sir. Did he just woo woo?
He did. I did.
I think it deserved a woo woo though. So that's
cool. It was, cool. Man. You made it. You made it to the end, and you still have 3 lives left. So, you may be able to beat the game.
Yeah, just to kind of tie things up. A couple of little mentions on E3. Last things we saw. Not so much as a rant, just things that just didn't feel right. The E3 EA press conference.
Oh no, this is a rant, brother. You got to classify this as a rant. If you didn't like it, tell us why.
Nah, it's not a rant. Just a little disappointment.
You don't like the rant. You got to get it off your chest.
I don't.
So you can game freely. You got to be able to game freely. So go ahead. It's not a rant, Tiger, quote unquote.
Nah, just with EA, what they did was they showed a lot of what we're working on as opposed to a lot of what's coming soon. And
what's the difference?
What we're working on is 2 to 3 years, and what's coming soon is big games we can expect before the end of the year. Yeah. They hinted at Microsoft, hinted at Star Wars, hinted at blah blah blah. One thing they didn't show was NBA Live. They're saying they're coming out with it this year, but they didn't show it.
NBA Live to me, man, is dead in the water. When you miss 3 years in a row now, I think they're done, aren't they?
But what if NFL 2K came out? That wouldn't be dead in the water, and they've been going for 5 years, 6 years now.
No, probably even longer than that. But again, the only reason it would get
you're right.
Yeah, the only reason that it would be exciting is because people are tired of Madden. Madden's the only choice. So it's like you've been dating this girl. I shouldn't use my wife around. You've been dating this girl, right? You just tired, dog. Same old cooking. You're like, ooh.
Oh, baby, I put a little bit different spice this time.
Right.
What is that Eddie Murphy thing where he's talking about the same cracker every day? And then he's like, oh, another cracker? He's like, oh, give me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's definitely it, dude.
Yeah. EA, they I don't know. They didn't bring it, man. Hardline, another Battlefield. It didn't excite me. I'm not a big Battlefield person. I played the beta. I wasn't really into it. I didn't understand. I get what they're saying, cops and robbers. Here's a little taste of, just right in the middle of it. But there was no introduction, no warm up. It was just like hell. And I was like, no, Destiny. So
get away from me. Get away from me.
I was like, stop chasing me. I don't want to go to prom with you.
Look, man, the Battlefield Hardline, and I'm sure you got a lot of people out there. Dude, this is a DLC, and you guys are trying to pimp it off as a separate game.
It's a separate game.
Clearly, it's a DLC,
It's a separate game. It's a separate game.
It's clearly a DLC, and they're trying to pimp it off as a separate game because you took them out of Russian uniforms and put them into cop uniforms.
That is true, though.
It's a separate game. They selling it like it's a separate game. They advertising it like it's a separate game. They even put out a statement saying that don't look forward to us annualizing Battlefield. So it's a separate game, man. I don't care how you put it. They should have made it DLC.
Geez. Thank God, because I'm not gonna lie, like EA has just been fueling my fire of hatred for them the past year.
Here you go. He warm it up, y'all.
And well, the thing is like they dropped Battlefield 4, and for how long it wasn't even playable on 64 player and PS4, and then. And I heard PC, it was crashing every other, second. And they didn't put the time into development that they should have. And EA took a huge hit. They even had, a lawsuit filed against them by their shareholders or something like that?
Right.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but you're screwing up when a lawsuit's being filed against you. Like that, I've never heard of that in a video game.
You're being sued, you're pretty much screwing up something,
and it's almost made me so cautious to buy another game from them because it's like, why should I even bother spending the money and buying your brand if I could just not? Because all you've thrown at me for the past two, and even Battlefield 3 was a little sketchy, when it first dropped, I remember. And the expansions they dropped for this game so far, there was what wasn't it? The second expansion, I can't remember, was the Second Assault or something? No, it was the other one. But you would take off in a jet, and the airway or the airstrip wasn't long enough, so you would just straight up run into a wall. Yeah,
wait,
I swear to God.
Hold on. They give you a plane, but you can't take off in it.
Yeah,
you're short airway.
That's horrible.
Yeah. And even still now, it lags in 64-player games with my PS4. I don't know if that's just me, but
I've heard the lag stories, man.
It's almost embarrassing for their company. It should be, at least. I can't stand them right now,
folks. That was Tagguh's first rant. Did y'all feel it? I felt it.
Come at me, bro.
I felt it. Yeah, I saw fire too. Fire, sparks, and smoke, and all that good stuff. Yeah. But just to piggyback off of that, man. So Battlefield comes out. So I'm a Call of Duty head. I'm loving it. Battlefield comes out. I played Bad Company. Trigger Rick got me playing Bad Company.
Yeah,
I was
Bad
like,
Company was amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. He was like, you're going to get to Battlefield 3. I'm like, okay, I'll try something new. I will leave Call of Duty, which is like, telling a junkie to put the pipe down. So
Battlefield 3 took over life for y'all.
But here is why Battlefield 3 took over my life. Because I got into the beta. I was like, this is hot. Then they were listening. This is where I felt like a studio finally listened to the gamer. Everything that we were saying, it's like there's somebody sitting next to you writing notes, and they were going back and making the changes and stuff like that. Even with the guns, when they got that one automatic shotgun that got super powerful, they nerfed it.
Oh, the frag rounds?
Yeah. So I was loving DICE for this, man. I said, okay, here our studio finally got it right. They listened to the gamer. And then Battlefield 4 came out, and they were just
complete opposite.
Dude, complete opposite. Like, screw the gamer. We know what we're doing. We got this. And so I agree with everything Tag said is, I'm not going to rush out and buy this game. This is probably an iteration that you just skip.
So is that DICE or is that just the crappy EA Origins server?
I think it's the EA. Yes. It's definitely EA because DICE expressed their not really, I wouldn't say hatred, but they expressed how upset they were that the game released too early. They definitely felt like the game didn't get developed enough and that it was just being pushed to kind of combat the Call of Duty.
Which was a flop. A flop. Call of Duty Ghosts was a flop. There are people now that play the game. They say, I play it, dude, but it sucks. This game is a flop. So you rushed your game out to compete on the, in the holiday season with Call of Duty. It was terrible. You were terrible. And gamers are sitting here like, well, well, sums it up, man.
But the thing is like if they had taken the time, they could have had a really great title. Like,
yes,
that a Battlefield 4 has so much potential if it were correctly done and wasn't screwed up and laggy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that while I was playing it. Is that it was screwed up and it was really annoying. And Merc's heard me scream at video games before. But,
classic.
Yeah, I go in on people on video games when they screw up. But there was so much. It was so much fun, even still as broken as it was. But so you could see that they just didn't take the time to properly polish it.
But it's like walking with a rock in your shoe. Yeah, I mean you're walking still, but you still get that irritation. You know what I mean? It's not. It's okay. You're getting around, but it's not as enjoyable as it should be.
It's like you just want to stop, take the rock out, and
right. And I think and for Battlefield 4, I don't think they're ever going to be able to get that rock out. I think it's always going to be this broken game.
It's already tainted.
They won't fix until they get to 5 because the little things are now big things. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of them.
You know what I think they could do? And what would make me instantly buy the game is a Bad Company 3 instead of a Battlefield 5.
Everybody is clamoring for that, and I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to make it.
That makes me upset. Because Bad Company was like the first game that I played in the Battlefield series that actually hooked me.
Yep. And I haven't, for them to make the statement, they're not going to annualize it. And then, they're coming out with this as a step instead of Bad Company.
I'm glad you brought that up, too. I got something to say about that. Oh, did you want me to say it now? Well, so we're not going to air quotes here, annualize it. What we're going to do is give you a Black Ops 2 in between. That's all this game is. That's all Hardline is, man.
That's true.
Somebody at DICE is looking in the window, or EA or whatever, is looking at the window over at their competition and saying, hey, let's create another game, just like our first game, but give it a different name.
Slightly tweaked.
Yeah, and then we'll back and forth, make that money. This is dangerous. This is a dangerous playground that they're on, man, because it's about cash now. It's another cash grab. I'm glad the Division is coming out. I'll go to a Tom Clancy game in a minute if they do it right. And leave DICE and Call of Duty people or whoever in the dust.
See, what killed them, what killed DICE is EA, right? So let me get this quick statement out, right? So think about this, right? You came out with Battlefield, and you had the Bad Company game, and it had that gap between that and Battlefield 3. It wasn't meant to be the direct competition of Call of Duty, and what EA did was they were coming out with that other shooter that flopped twice in a row. Right. So now EA is they're clamoring, they're struggling. They're like, man, how is Activision doing this? Right. Activision now admits they got 3 studios working on Call of Duty. So that's 3-year cycle between every Call of Duty game that's going to come out from now on. So EA want that Call of Duty money, and they can't do it. And that's not the style of DICE and Battlefield and the way it's meant to be. Like they're never going to catch up, and I get that they want to keep the shareholders happy. Well, you do that by making this huge monumentous release with Battlefield. Don't force a game that's classic and structured well and done right because they take their time on it. Don't force it down my throat and shortchange me on it, and then give me these crappy servers that no one can connect and play on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's my rant.
Well, you know what worries me though. Okay, so we saw the footage for Star Wars during the conference, And here again, you got DICE and EA working on it.
How many times did you question whether you were going to buy it, though, when you were watching it? Like, you were like, wow, this looks really good. But in the back of my mind,
there were no questions at all. Yeah. I was already on indoor, dude. I was on the planet on my my motor scooter or whatever the hell.
Oh, it's like that.
Dude, I bought this game already. What are you talking about? I already gave him money.
When did the last
Battlefield
Battlefront come out? How old is that?
Oh, Battlefront 2 came out years ago. Right, I mean, so PlayStation 2 years ago.
You don't have that foul taste in your mouth you got from Battlefield going into like another year.
Wait. There was no foul taste from Battlefront.
Just in comparison, though. We're talking about just this company and what they're doing.
Star Wars is perfect. Leave it alone.
Merc is a non-believer. He just doesn't want to listen to facts. He just hears Battlefront.
Screw your facts. Your facts are getting in the way of my fantasy.
Battlefront's released. Merc's tires are screeching. He's off to GameStop.
That's it, dude. That's it. I'm gone.
And look, if you don't buy Battlefront, you will not see him for at least 4 to 5 months.
Exactly. He got deployed. He's on Hoth somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I had on E3. So.
Okay, well,
EA.
So I kind of got a rant, but I'm gonna let Tag rant first, man. So, and it has to do with Grand Theft Auto 5, and I apologize. I know you guys are probably tired of me talking about it.
Yeah,
but
I could turn my mic off on this one.
They did it again, man. They did it again.
You keep falling for it. That's the problem. You keep falling for it. Stop falling for it.
Look, dude, I promise you, it's like, yeah, I feel like I got duped. I feel like I'm being punked right now by Rockstar. I really do, man. I feel like, they
you like that time. You like that Tom and Jerry episode where that fool was like, "Don't you believe?"
No. You know, I feel like Wile E. Coyote. That's what I feel like. I feel like I'm chasing the Roadrunner. You know what I'm saying?
Slamming you at every turn.
Every time I'm running into that tunnel that's painted onto the mountain, man.
Did you get Watch Dogs yet?
No, I haven't got it yet. But for the people that are listening, we're talking about the heist again being delayed by Rockstar, by Grand Theft Auto. I just don't get it. I don't understand what they're doing with their billions of dollars. Are they swimming in their money?
Their trailer for when they dropped the game had heists in the online mode.
Yeah,
that was their hugest selling point for online.
Exactly.
That's why it's such a huge deal too.
Yeah, I think that's I read some of the forums, man, and people were hot. I mean, of course they were hot already. We were already mad, but you told us spring, and spring has come and gone. And again, you told us it's delayed, and so I don't know what to think at this point. I think I've come up with every excuse for them. They're not really telling us anything. We heard about GTA being on the computers. We heard about it being on the PS4, Xbox One, or whatever. But part of me feels like either they can't get it right. That's what I think. I don't think they can get it right, personally. I think they're dealing with all this hacking and stuff, and they cannot get the heist right.
It's going to be worse on the PC. Wait till they come out on the PC.
Oh, yeah.
You literally will have no control over what happens after that point.
They don't have any control now. They just dropped a DLC update called "I'm Not a Hipster," and people are already hacking it.
You know what's funny is I saw a picture on Reddit on the GTA 5 subreddit, and it was some hacker or modder or whatever had turned the entire party into dogs and pigs and was just running around hanging out with them or something.
Wow.
See?
He turned them into dogs and pigs, or something like that. It was crazy. All
right, so before I take my foot off of Rockstar's neck, as gamers, what do you do at this point? So the game's been out since October, I believe, right? So 8 months. What you haven't gotten what they promised to you. Other games are coming out. Watch Dogs is coming out. What do you do? When do you trade this game in? When do you give up on Grand Theft Auto if you haven't done it already? That's my question. Do I trade this in or not?
Yeah, man, I answered that question 2 weeks ago.
And how'd you answer it?
I traded it in. I never played it. There was nothing. Mm-hmm. Once I got done with the single player, we played online for a little bit, and then the whole time I was hollering like, I want to do a mission. Give me a single player feel like mission on the multiplayer. And I never got it. And I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm never going to get it. So I let it go. I did, man.
You feel like you know what it is? It's like hanging out with the hot chick and then finding out that you've been put in the friend zone 3 months ago. You know what I mean? That's what it felt like.
But they promise that they're gonna take you out of the friend zone.
Oh yeah.
It's just delayed.
It's just it's just delayed. No,
I know we promised this a long time ago.
Right? Yeah. Rockstar, you have put us in the friend zone, dude. You keep telling us that.
Rockstar's put us in the friend zone.
Man, we're gonna go out. Every time I call and ask you, can we go out? You tell me you're busy.
Something came up.
Oh my God.
You're washing your hair. See?
Dog had to go to the vet.
Yeah. Oh, the dog had to go to the vet. We're not going to talk about the dogs not being in the game.
I think today, man, we have to make it official. All right, so this is a clean podcast, so there's no profanity, dude. You got to get off the binky, man.
Wow.
You got to let it go. You got to get off the binky.
I think I am, because every day the trade value for this game goes down and down, and I could just cut my losses and be done with it. Yep. You know.
But what do you lose letting it sit on your shelf? You don't lose anything so much as you would.
No.
Here's what you do. Here's my plan, right? Everybody goes, oh my God, how do I get past this? Take the game, you trade it in now, go get you a little power trade, Best Buy, GameStop, get your power trade, take that same money, right, and just put it towards the next gen version of it. Because you're not saying you're not a fan. You're not
GTA?
You're not saying you're not a fan.
It'll be like 7 years.
That's October. Well, but then that opens up every single other game that's out there between now and then.
Okay, so you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like saying, okay, I'm going to quit hanging out with this girl and I'm going to wait, till next summer. And next summer comes around and you're right back at it again, trying to talk and hook up with this girl. And she's friend zoning you again, man. I'm not giving them no more money.
You gotta delete that. You gotta delete that number out of your phone. Let it go. You write it down on a piece of paper. Put it in a jar. Go grab it.
Burn it.
You
burn it. Dude.
Burn it.
You burn it.
Well, that's what I did. I was like, you know what? Delete. Nothing. Gone.
I'm gonna tell you what you do. You burn it and then you date your cousin. That's the end of the show, people. No. That's it. That's it today.
On that note,
we have brought you Nintendo's digital event. We talked a little bit about the heist not being available. We had our first guest on the show. His name is Tagguh, not Tagguh. Please don't call him Tagguh.
Where can they reach you at, man?
Who, me?
Tagguh.
Tell them. Are you social? You got do you want to be reached? That's the question.
Well, I have a Twitter. It's at Tagguh, obviously, Tagguh.
Right.
And then I don't know.
Say it again because you broke up.
At Tagguh, Tagguh, obviously.
Right. You want to give out your game?
I don't
tag,
really.
Or?
Well, yeah, on the PSN it's Tagguh1. It's just with the number 1 after. If you want to play Last of Us, all that.
Yep.
Of
course you can find me. I'm Davench Toonami. I'm over on Twitter. You can also catch all our previous episodes, every single last one, on YouTube. Search up Power Pellet Podcast. We are now on iTunes. Search and find us, Power Pellet Podcast. We have an RSS feed. In case you can't find it on there, we do post that link every now and then on our Twitter page. AkimboMerc.
I am AkimboMerc. You can find me lurking in the grocery stores.
AKA HEIST.
Don't tell them about the HEIST. They're not ready for that yet. But I'll be lurking the aisles at your grocery stores. If I'm not there, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, of course, YouTube, and all the other places that he named. I want to thank Tag for getting on the show. We've been trying to get him on for a while, and we had to find the right time to do it, and now is the right time.
Great first guest, man. You were
he's awesome. We gotta come. You gotta have you back, man.
Yeah, you are our official temporary co-host.
You know what? We should do them like they do the guys on the late night talk shows. Or when they can't find nobody else, they call that one guy that's always available.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm the backup.
You can be the standby backup dude.
Yeah, the standby.
That's what you get for going away for 4 or 5 months. But hey, thanks again for coming on the show. That's it, Merc. Check us out, baby.
Yeah, take yourself out, Merc.
Oh.
Power Pellet Podcast. We will catch y'all next time. Later.
I can't believe I did that.